Okay. So today we're gonna cover PMTiles. Before we get into that, just a quick reminder for the final project presentation next week. So make sure that if you haven't started yet, you need to start right now. If you have questions, let me know. And so we start the presentation next Monday. You'll be here. You can use your own computer for presentation, but if you want to use my computer, let me know in advance, okay? And make sure that you have the HDMI, whatever, or the what's this one called? USB-C. You can use mine, but make sure that if you want to use my computer, let me know so that I can put your stuff on my computer first. And so this will be the last last week of lectures. And so for today, I want to cover PMTiles. On Wednesday, I want to cover geodatabase. Most actually is how you can get the database into DuckDB, for example. It's quite common. So some of the data out there that you find online might be already in geodatabase format, and you can easily using Leafmap to convert into other data format, or directly you can convert into DuckDB so that you can do some of the spatial analysis or get some summary statistics very quickly. And so here, there's a new notebook I put in here, visualizing PMTiles. Before getting into the coding, I would ask how many of you heard about this one, PMTiles? No one? Yeah, so it's pretty new. So I only started using this one, I think, maybe 2 to 3 months ago. But this is very powerful. It's the way of visualizing vector tiles in the cloud or using the browser. It's super useful. Kind of like you are visualizing Google Map. So you can create your own Google Map. Make sense? And you can put it online for people to visualize and then put into the app. So this is so-called cloud optimized format for geospatial data. And it's very easy to use. With a couple lines of code, you can visualize data. Similar to the, if you remember the Parquet, the Geo Parquet format, like you have 200 gigabyte, you can just use DuckDB to query the data. This one is like you can have 2 gigabyte PMTiles. You can visualize that on the map interactively, and you can customize to whatever color or style you want. It's very super powerful. So if you want to learn more, you can click the link here. So this one is created by the company called Proton Maps. But you can check on the information here. You can go to the website if you want to learn more about what PMTiles is. And I think you can just go to protonmaps.com. Yeah, so they just kind of revamp the website. So this is pretty simple and straightforward to do. And on the right here shows you something like this, right? So this one is kind of built on top of OpenStreetMap. And it's kind of like just base map. So if you see, when you are zooming and zoom out, you will see on the left side, you see the response. So what this one essentially doing is like a single file called PMTiles hosting all the data. And then you allow users to request based on the zoom in and zoom out. So pay attention to the left. Oops, you can see it's basically requesting the data. So if you like keep zooming in, the data won't be loaded. But this looks like Google Map or OpenStreetMap, and looks pretty nice. But you can create one easy for your own applications. You can customize different color. So what this one can be useful is you can build an interactive web app, and then you have this one hosted somewhere. Then you can allow user to put it into the applications, and it doesn't have to be red color. Anyone can customize to whatever color they like. I'm gonna show you how to do that, but this is kind of I'm not sure about what it is. It's a single file hosted through HTTP URL somewhere on the internet, and then user can pull the map, the data, and internally it's a hierarchy, kind of like a pyramid, and it's like it's kind of like spatial resolution, like raster. You have a pyramid building up. So When you're zooming out, zooming, you kind of have different tiles. So it's a hierarchical hierarchy of tiles that allow user to put into the application. So again, you're welcome to check out. This is open source. It's free. You're welcome to try it out, and this makes it possible to visualize data without having a server. So basically, right now you only need to put it somewhere. You can even put it on GitHub, and then once you make available through HTTP URL, anyone can visualize it easily. So official support, they only support like JavaScript. I have added support to Leafmap, so that now you can use that in Python pretty easy. Next, I'm going to show you how you can use that. So first, make sure that you install the packages using this one. So by default, you need to update your Leafmap to the latest one, otherwise it won't work. So the easiest way will be just Control / and then just run this one. Install the latest Leafmap package. You should also be able to run this one on Google Colab or locally. Either one's fine. So it should be pretty quick. I already installed it, so you can see here everything works fine. Then restart the kernel. It'd be better to restart the kernel. Okay. And once you restart it, then we can start import the libraries. So keeping in mind, IPyLib right now doesn't support PMTiles yet. I actually just added support for that, but they have not released a new version yet, so it might take some time. But in the future, if IPyLib is released, the new version, it'll be so much better, because we want to interact with the data. So if, for example, click on the map, you want to get the data what you click on. So IPyLib is a lot more flexible, but for now you will have to use Folium for now. But I can quickly show you. I think just most last week sometime. Yeah, here. So this is the one that I contributed, but was with some help from the community, and it's quite complicated. So it's not something that you can easy do. So you need to know some JavaScript, you need to know some Python, but eventually it works. Hopefully it will be available in the next release in the next couple weeks. But for now, we can just use Folium. So all we need to do is just import dmap.folium as Leafmap. But in the future, once IPyLib support it, you just import Leafmap. Everything works just fine. So for now, we're just going to use the Folium backend. And then we're going to use some sample data. So the PMTiles has a PMTiles viewer. You can click the link. I can open the website here just to take a look, right? So this is just a simple website. And like I said, you can visualize any PMTile. So if you look at some of the sample data in here, right? HTTPS and then blah, 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 something.pmtiles. So that PMTiles, you can, it's basically just a single one file. And I can maybe, how about this one? You can click, how about the second one, okay? So if you open it, you see, it's loaded up. And then you can zoom in, you can zoom out, you can see all the data layer on the right. So all the data layer is based on your zoom level. So if you zoom in or you pan, it's going to load it up. But this file, keep in mind, right, it doesn't matter how big the file size, it can be many, many gigabytes. So the reason for that is your map has a XYZ. So basically your zoom level and also the extent is going to request a tile based on your zoom level and the map area. So it doesn't need to download the entire file. So even if your file is 100 gigabytes, it doesn't matter. Kind of like a packet file. If you remember, we handle like 10 gigabyte, 20 gigabyte, doesn't matter, because we only get a small section of the data. So this huge file, you can think about it has a header at the beginning, tells you how to quickly get to the data you want. And let's get very technical, but for now, you just think about, okay, I want to visualize the PMTiles. So this is the URL, and then you see you can just open it. You can visualize raster data, vector data. So in here, you can also visualize, for example, base map in here. And take a look at this. Is like pretty big. So if you look at vector data, like this is very detailed. It's actually, the file is pretty big. So if you want, you can actually download this one. So let me show you like where it is. Just to show you how big is the data set. Let me copy this one, Control C, and then let me paste it. Okay. I don't want to download, but I just want to quickly show you here. Download to maybe, where's my downloads directory. I'll cancel it right away. Okay. And see this one? How many? 103 gigabyte. You see that? That file is 103 gigabyte, but we have visualized that easily without any problem. To see how efficient it is. And if you have any web application, you have some data you want to share with other people, you can basically convert to PMTiles and then host it somewhere. It can be on an HTTP server, it can be in the cloud, anywhere. And then you can just like a couple lines code, you can basically anyone can go to the URL and then just pop the URL and then visualize it. So this file is 103 gigabytes. So you can think about you can put your entire Google Maps. Assume that if you have the data, you can create one and then just load in there and then anyone can visualize it. You can change what it looks like in here. You can customize to whatever color symbology you like. So everything is customizable. Unlike Google Map, you have no control. It's already customized. So if you really want to, you need to do some coding to be able to do that. But this one, you basically have full control about how you want the map to look. Anyway, so this is just one simple example that shows you like you can do that on the web. You can use this PMTiles viewer. You can visualize it. But since we are covering this one in Python, so we want to actually integrate this with different data layer that we have locally. So, and we have two different ways. Remote PMTiles basically means the PMTiles already somewhere on the internet. We also have the local PMTiles. That means you have a PMTiles on your local computer. You can also visualize that. So firstly, we're going to cover the remote PMTiles. And so look at this one here, right? Actually, pretty simple. So before we want to visualize that, we want to get some metadata. So this is exactly what this one is about. Let me come back to here. Go to the PMTiles. And I click the second one, okay? So this is basically the data layer. And if you click upper left here, there's a metadata. So the metadata shows you basically some of the metadata information about this PMTiles. What data layer and who created it. Let me see, zoom out, zoom in a little bit, right? They're going to show you like how many directories, how many tiles, blah, blah, the zoom level, minimum, maximum. And so in here, if you click vector tiles, right? So this shows you basically how many data layers in there. So the PMTiles, you can have point, you can have line, you can have polling, you basically have multiple data layers in there. So in total, we have 13 data layers. And if you click in, right, this one, the first layer called Earth, and the second one, nature, right? So basically you have multiple data layers, and this is exactly what, if you come back here, on the right here shows you this, all the data layer. So sometimes if you want to visualize just a certain layer, you don't want all of them, here you can turn them on and off, right? Everything is customizable. The color is customizable as well. But so the reason we want to make a look at the metadata, because later we want to visualize that. So the first way here, if you're using Python, let me uncheck this one, okay? This you can zoom in a little bit. So here, all you need is just the URL, okay? There are tons of PMTiles right now on those free open access repository. So the first one you can call is leafmap.pmtiles metadata, and then just passing the URL. Then you can look at the metadata, okay? So kind of the same as the one that I showed you earlier using the web browser, the PMTiles. So you can see here the fields, blah, blah, blah. And because you have too many data layers, it's too long. So in Visual Studio Code, it doesn't show you that, but you can click the text editor to show you the entire content. So this is exactly the same. Using a PMTiles viewer, you can see what the data layer, blah, blah, and you can scroll down. You're able to see, for example, the center, the bounding boxes. So this can be helpful because if you're trying to create some data, you want to zoom to that location. Under the hood, you need to be able to get basically where the center, the data layers center or the bounding boxes. But Leafmap is already makes things so much easier, so you don't have to worry about that. And similarly, you can just use the metadata, like the layer names, basically is from here, right? So the output, the metadata has this vector data layer, and then where all the layer names get in here. You can get the center. So basically the entire PMTiles has multiple data layers. It's centered around this latitude and longitude. you can also get the bounding boxes. Right, as simple as that. So the next step I want to show you is actually how you visualize the data. Assume you already know the HTTP URL to the PMTiles, and you can use the default settings. So let me show you this one. I'm gonna set to none just to show you what it is. Actually, you can just remove everything. Let me show you like how easy it is. You can just say, okay, create a map, and I can add the base map if you like. And then I just m.pm add PMTiles. That's it. Passing the URL, and then you can give the layer name something like that. Just run it. Let me see here. Yeah, it's work. Okay, see. So basically, just a couple lines of code. Leafmap, create a map, and then add some base map if you like. Then just add map.add PMTiles, and then just passing the URL. Right? You can forget about the metadata, forget about the center, forget about the zoom, whatever bounding boxes, forget about the style. You can use the default. So this is something that you can easily do, right? And then you can hover your mouse, you see this pop up, right? So this is kind of the same as the one you see earlier in here using a PMTiles viewer. Kind of I try to use the same style. So right now you can see it's pretty good. Except right now we don't have this like layer control yet. The only thing is it treats all the data layer as one single data layer. So if you hover your mouse, you can turn this one on and off. Make sense? Pretty easy, right? Create a map and then just get the URL and then just edit. By default, it should just walk out of the box. And of course, this is just a small area. So the background here is, you see, it's getting bigger and bigger. And this one, I don't know how big the file size. This one is relatively small, but you can see we have points, we have lines, we have polygon, we have everything. And if you want to get the default style, it's actually from here, leafmap.pmtiles, and then give it a URL, and then you can just look at the style, what it looks like. So I'm going to print out here, and it looks like this, kind of quite complicated. So this is under the hood is using a mapbox style, JSON style. So if you want to see of them, you can text editor. It looks like this. Version, sources, and then the source, and then the layer, and then you see it based on the different geometry type, right? It can be free geometry, it can be polygon, it can be point, it can be line. It looks quite complicated. So you see, it's very long. So every data layer, you can have point and lines, polygon. So depends on how many data layer you have. So the style is going to be multiplied by 3. So here we have 12 layers. The style is actually pretty long. So usually, unless you are really picky about what color you want to look like, you can just use the default one. Usually it should work just fine. But if you want to customize it, you can do that easily. So here, right now, I'm using this CMap. So the CMap is the Leafmap color map. So let me see if I can show you the color. See what it looks like. Basically, you can change to whatever color you like. So let me go to maybe Leafmap, and then see if you can show you the color. So color map, creating color map with single line to call. Yeah, kind of like this. So let me show you here. All everything in here. So all you need to do is just the name on the left here. So this is notebook 23, and you have a tons to choose from. So earlier what we used by default is in the set 3. So it's in here. I think is this one, set 3, like 12 colors, but you can change it to any color. So for now, let's like play with it. So here I'm going to use this style using the color map set 3, and then so here again, if you don't want to customize style, just add PMTiles, that's it. But if you want the style, then you will be here, styles, a style equal to style. Okay, so that means right now we are customizing the color. Okay, but run it. It should still be the same because this is the default color. But what I'm trying to show you is that you can use any color you like. So for example, I can change to cool, warm. Okay, So the cool one, if you come back to here, it looks like this. Here cool one looks like this. Okay, from blue to kind of a red color. Okay, but since this is continuous, you probably want to just set the number of classes. Otherwise, it will be 255. It will be too much. So here I can show you, like, I can get another parameter, n classes, for example, to let's say 10 or 12, whatever. So in that way, it's separating the continuous into 12 blocks, so you can get the hex color code for those 12 one. And let's look at what it looks like. Okay, so we get the new color style. Oh, it's so slow here. Okay, and then let's run this one. So basically, we are changing the color to something else. See, you notice the differences? So from blue to kind of a red color using the Cool color scheme, right? Super easy. So it depends on what you want. You can grab any color you like. I can change it to, for example, I'll show you terrain. Okay, and again 10 classes. Then I can customize it. So all you need is just customize to whatever style you like. If there's something that you don't like, you can actually change the color a little bit different, but you can certainly see right now the green color. So that one is usually used to visualize terrain. So play with it, see what you like. If you're really picky about that, you can do it like this. So in here, you can also visualize just a certain layer. Let me go back to this one just to show you what you want to do, right? So in the app PMTiles, there's a layer of parameters, I believe. This is not there. Maybe in the other function. Anyway, so this is how kind of customize it. But if you want, you can just provide a dictionary, and then you just copy this part, this portion. This one you need to be always the same, pretty much. And then you have a layer, and this shows you how you can control. So for example, we have buildings. We can fill in different color, and then also for example, for the roads, we can have different color. Let's just run this one just to show you, right? Usually just use the default, but like I said, you can customize it to whatever way you want. But this is right now we only visualizing two data layers, just the background of the buildings and also the roads, right? It looks like this. And of course, it doesn't look as good as all the data layers because we only show you two data layers. But this one has 12 data layers in here. So if you want to turn off these like tooltips, if this just too annoying, you can come back to here, and then tooltip equal to false. Okay, then you will turn it off. Okay. So right now, if you hover the map, it won't show you the tooltips. Also, the zoom to layer, this one usually you want to set to true. Otherwise, your map is like at the global map. If your data is pretty small, you have no idea where it is located. So if I change to false, run it again. Where is it? I had to tell, right? You guys, it's very tiny, so you cannot really see it. So make it easier just use the default settings. If you don't provide the default parameter, it's true. So you can always zoom to this location in here. If you don't like the color, you can change it. So for example, for the buildings, if you want to change the color, here you can use the name of the color. For example, red, blue, green, whatever you like. Alright, so right now it's all red. Or you can use the hex color code. Okay, I can maybe pound sign, and then what's the color for green, for example? What's the hex code for green? 00 FF 00, right? You can also have a fill opacity, something like that, 0.5, basically 50% transparent. And now text group. You can see something beneath, right? You can see the labels beneath. This is the basement. So everything can be easily customizable. It's up to you what you want to look like. If you're lazy, just use the PMTiles, passing the URL, that's it. You don't need to worry about the style. But if you really want to, you can follow something like this. Or you can use the PMTile style, and then from here, you can change the color, right? So for example, here they say, I want the PMTiles, the terrain color, and then you can just change one thing. For example, here, if you like the building or other stuff, you can just follow the instructions, and then you can change this parameter to something else. Or you can just copy this one. For example, open this one, and then just say select, copy, and then assign this one to available. And then inside there, you can make some changes. But this is tail bit long, so you don't want to have your source code have this like complicated stuff. Okay, so this is how easy it is to visualize PMTiles with default style, with custom style. And that one is using the Protos maps sample data, but there are many more data available. So for example, we can visualize the overtool maps. And similarly, if you want, I think the data comes from here. So this is also very popular open data initiative that produce all kind of map and then trying to compete with Google. Because Google has all the data, but you cannot actually download anything. This one is trying to have some alternative that you can have a huge database of all the vector data, but you can download it if you want to. So here, similarly, we have this URL, right? And then you can do the same thing. We can get the metadata. You can see the data layer. You can see the bounding boxes. So for this one, it only has 4 data layers. Administrative boundary, buildings, places, and also rows. And similarly, we can do the same thing. We create a map. We add some base map. And then we add the PMTiles. Similarly here, URL name, we didn't provide a style. So it's going to use the default style to do the customization. So just 4 lines of code, we can visualize that data layer. So if you turn in here, hello, it should come up. Otherwise, something is wrong. Is it coming up? Okay. I'm not sure why I'm not coming up on my computer. Let me restart the corner. Sometimes things get weird. And then let me. Did it work on your computer? Yeah. So let me run this one again. So the workflow are pretty much the same. Okay, create a map and then just add the data layer. So let me run this one again. And then here. Huh? It's weird. Let me try this one. It should not. It worked earlier when I tested it. So something is certainly weird. Interesting. Let me close it. If not, you can try go Jupyter Lab. It should work. Take more time? No, it should not be because if it doesn't work, it should usually 2 to 3 seconds. If it takes longer than that, something is wrong. Let me try again here. Come on. Very slow. Yeah, probably it's just the Visual Studio Code problem. Yeah. Is it done? Oh. Yeah. Let me try Jupyter Lab. Oh, it's done. Hmm. Okay, it's done. Let me try again. If it doesn't work, then we have to switch. Hmm. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a Visual Studio Code problem. Let me don't save this one. Switch to Jupyter Lab. I have a couple minutes. And on this one. It's a Visual Studio Code problem. So it works fine on Jupyter Lab. Sometimes it's weird. When I tested it earlier, it works fine. But anyway, so this is basically the default. If you don't provide the style, it's going to visualize like something like that. So if you zoom in, you could see more buildings popping up. Again, this file is pretty big. So it's only requesting the tiles when you see that. So I can only show you one more time, like how it actually works. I think the PMTiles viewer is pretty good on that. So let me show you here. If you click this one, and you show the attribute and the tile boundary. So let me show you in here. So under the hood, you see this one. You see, I'm not sure you can see the red line. It's pretty small, but you see this color. This like X Y Z. So this is the zoom level, the X and the Y. So when you zoom in, it's going to request more tile. It's going to split into smaller one. Let me turn off all the data layer. Oops. Maybe just one data layer. But not sure you can see the changes of the tile. So basically it's a pyramid. So when you zoom out, it's going to request a smaller tile. So it's always getting just a small section of the data set. Right? So now you can pretty see it. Very similar to like Google Map. When you visualize, it's basically downloading the PNG to your computer. So let's go back to this one. By default, you're using the default style, but you can also customize it. Like I said, you need to provide something that's pretty lengthy, but advantage is that it allows you to customize the data to whatever way you like. See? So now it looks like this. You can zoom in, you can see the color, you can see the line, the rows, the polygon. So only when you zoom in, you can see the details about rows. Right, so now you see the buildings. Pretty nice. Again, like color, everything you can customize. So all you need to do is just make sure that you have the link to the PMTiles and then look at the metadata, see what data layers in there. Once you get the data layer, and then you can just specify this style. You can copy this whole block, and all you need to do basically is just customize this, the one within the layers, and then the ID will be the name you're gonna give. So this one doesn't matter. The most important one is this one, source layer. So this one need to be exactly the same as the layer that you saw earlier. If you have some typos, you want to having trouble, it's not going to work. Okay, and then you can customize. The fill is for polygon, but you can also have point using the circle, a line using line string or something like that. So, but again, just use the default one. It should as well. So the next one I'm going to show you here is source cooperative. So this we already used some of the sample data in the past from the website. So again, you can go to the website, and this one we are trying to visualize the Google Microsoft Open Building dataset. So if you open the link, it's going to take you to this website. So this one is all the open buildings are available for free, and I think we already used some of the lab assignments, right? Asking to access the packet file, the geo packet. But if you notice here, there's one called PMTiles. So the geo packet is basically by country, by different level. But if you want, you can look at the PMTiles, okay? And it's one single file. How big it is? 193 gigabyte, okay? You don't need to download it, you can just visualize that. So here, if you click in, you're gonna show you the link. Oh, now they even have a preview. Okay, that's nice. So basically, it's similar to what we are going to do later, is to visualize the PMTiles. But this is pretty basic. There's no color, there's nothing in there. And all you need to do is just grab this link, blah blah HTTP, and then the PMTiles. And once you have that, just come back to here. Then you can use look at the metadata. So this one has only one data layer called building footprint. Okay. So once you have that, you can just create a map. And then if you don't want to like worry about the style, just add PMTiles and then style equal to none. That's it. Then you should be able to visualize the PMTiles directly. So this one again is 193 gigabyte. It's pretty dark, but if you zoom in, all the buildings. So if you ever need any building data set, this is the nice. It's like all the buildings pretty much. You can zoom in. It's going to load up. It's a bit slow because think about you are trying to request something from extract some data from that big PMTiles. But once you have that, you can see you have the data layer. We also have the base map, so you can actually see the buildings on top of the raster data layer, right? It's not perfect, but it's free, open access, right? It's pretty nice. There's some missing, but this is all based on AI, so it's like automatic extract all the buildings. But it looks pretty decent, right? If you ever need to do any mapping about the buildings, you definitely want to look into this data set. So this is customizing, for example, using the style, but you can just use the default one. It's just work just fine. And the next one, if you sometimes after you create a map, for example, here, you want to save this map and then you want to post the map somewhere, you can just use the map.save, build, and then point to a HTML. Just run it. Then you should create the file on your local computer. So if you go here, modify, you see, so this one just created, okay, and then if you open it, so now this is HTML. You can post it on your website if you want to. So it's just a simple HTML loading the PMTiles, and again you can point to small or large files. It can be gigabyte of data. It doesn't matter. So all you need to just share this one with someone. They can visualize. They don't need to do coding. So HTML, you can host it on any a web server or even on Google GitHub. Okay, so this is how you can visualize the PMTiles. Again, all you need is just a URL. So next time you see, this is going to get popular, more and more popular in the future, and more data will be made available using the PMTiles. So now you have different ways you can visualize. You can use the PMTiles view. You can take a quick look at that. Or if you want to integrate into your workflow and then add other data layer, then just come here, for example, create a map, get the URL, add the PMTiles, customize the style if you want to, and then display the map. And you can save that as HTML if you want to. The next section is PMTiles on your local computer. We don't have time to do that. And if you have other vector data, you can convert to PMTiles. This function right now doesn't work on Windows. You need to have Mac or Linux computer. Hopefully in the future it will be easier. But so what I'm showing you here is that, okay, I have buildings, GeoJSON. And then you can run this one, GeoJSON or vector to PMTiles to convert that one. Again, it's going to show you here. You need to install these packages, blah, blah, blah. But forget about that even on Windows. It's not going to work. But the nice thing about this, you can have a local server. So similar to the HTTP server that you get at URL, this one actually is running a server on your local computer. So if you open up, like we have a buildings.pmtiles, I already downloaded one from somewhere that I have. And then I'm going to show you quickly what it looks like. So I'm visualizing a PMTiles on my local computer. Did it come up? No. I think it's under buildings. Let me quickly. What's the name? Buildings to PMTiles. I think it worked earlier, but now it doesn't show up. Anyway, it's what if you're on a Linux or Mac computer. For Windows, right now there's some limitations, so it doesn't work yet. But what you can do is just put the PMTiles somewhere, make available on the internet through HTTP URL, and then you can use the method that we covered earlier to load the data into the map, and then you can customize, change the style, whatever you like. Then you want to have an application that you can load tons of vector data layer without crashing your computer. Kind of similar to what we did earlier, like using Leafmap and then Folium or IPyLeaflet. It's converting all of that into GeoJSON, and then your file is going to be huge. But this one is pretty small. So if you see from this file, it's only 11 KB, right? But we're loading the file is 200 gigabyte. So think about it. Okay, so we're out of time, and is it until 10? Oh, we have more time. Okay. Anyway, I saw we only finished. What else? So let me show you here. Go to a source cooperative. So this one actually has tons of data in there, and many of the data is actually available either through Parquet file or PMTiles. So earlier I showed you the Google Open Building dataset, right? Like I said, you can download it by country, or you can just access the PMTiles. And there's another one here, Overtour Open Buildings. I think similarly, if you open it, browse, and look at this. Overtour Buildings, PMTiles. See that? 90 gigabyte. Can you visualize that? Of course, right? It doesn't matter. Just create a map, point the URL, and then just do that. The only thing you need to pay attention is that if you have too many data layers, sometimes you're going to have a little bit slow, but let me show you here. Yeah, pretty good, right? It already visualized. But you see, our map looks so much better because it's colorful. So what you need to do, right? I'm just going to copy this link, and then you can do the same thing. I can start from scratch in here. Okay, and create a map equal to, or maybe you need to look at the metadata first. So see how many data layers in there. If you have too many, the style sometimes might be slow. So I'm going to just type leafmap.pmtype with URL equal to this. Okay. And first let's point to URL, and then the next step will be leafmap.pmtiles metadata, and then just passing this one. Run it. Wow, you see this one has a lot more information in here. And so one thing you can do is like assign this one to available. Okay. And then let's access the layer names. Okay, metadata square brackets, and then layer names. Okay, good. That's one data layer. So that's better. Then what I need to do is like this: map equal to leafmap.map. Okay, and then map.add PMTiles, and then it will be just the URL. That's it. Simple. So just 3 lines. Hopefully it works. Oh, is it coming? Oh yeah, yes here, but oh, because of the color, the default color is a little bit dark. Let me see, zoom in here. It's so hard to see, but it should be there. You see this? So it's basically kind of similar to OpenStreetMap, but let me zoom to somewhere. How about, I think maybe New City. Okay. So again, this one is like 90 gigabytes, so you can see what's in there. What's in there? Where are the buildings? Oh, it's coming up. You see? And let me turn off I cannot turn off the basement, but I can add another one. So to make it more overbase. So let me add this one. Control C. Then on this one. So it's dark color. So it'll be a little bit more overbase when you see the map. Okay. So now it is better. Okay. So yeah, I hate the tooltip. So let me 2 tip equal to false. Then run again. Okay, then we start looking at it. NYC here. Is it? Okay, it should be here. Is this one right? See here, NYC. It's going to be slow, but it's basically requesting a tile, so it's querying the file. This is called HTTP range request. So based on the zoom level XYZ, see how nice it is. You get access to all the buildings around the globe. And this is basically like, for example, Google Map, right? Have all the nice buildings. But how do you get the buildings out of that? Right? PMTiles vector. So nicely. And it has rows and have others, not just buildings. So it has a lot more data set. So in here, now you like default color. If you don't like it, fine. You can just, for example, I can copy something like this style. Okay. And then I come back to here. Right. And so all I need to do simply just change this one. So earlier the layer is called buildings. Fine, that's perfect. So here you need to change this one to buildings. No building footprint, so buildings. So the source layer need to be exactly the same as your layer names, otherwise it won't work. And then from here you can change the color, fill, opacity, and then just do the same thing. But in here, just type style equal to style. Okay, and then run it. And hopefully it works. Okay, so now see, like blue color is exactly what we want, right? So this one here is kind of a light blue color. Okay. So now you can see the data layer. You can combine with other data layer. You can save this one as a HTML if you want to. You can just map dot save. Okay, and then can do maybe what is demo.html. Run it, and then I can come back to here. See, demo.html 9 KB. Open it. Nice. Right. Of course, you can zoom in if you want to a specific location. You can customize the map. So I can come here. I can maybe create a map. So you can have a center here equal to maybe 40 negative 100. Okay. And the zoom level I can change to something else. So when you create a map, it's going to be centered around somewhere. No? Oh, because I create a map center, but because I said zoom to layer to layer, you need to change to false. Otherwise, it's going to be what? Okay, here. Then it's centered around somewhere. You see? Now it's centered around here in this location. Okay, so that's all I want to cover. But now you should be able to visualize any vector data, any PMTiles. If there's something on the internet, you can visualize that easily without having to do a lot of coding. It's only a couple lines of code. Okay, that's all for this lecture. And the next one, we're going to cover some geodatabase stuff. Okay, see you on Wednesday.